Hey everybody, as some people may know, that I've been doing podcasts for a long time, but they haven't all been available online too much. They're there sometimes and sometimes not, but I'm going to make them available as time goes by. But these are two pieces of podcasts I did quite a long time ago. It was Tootie Reisinger talking about her mother, Louise Giddings, and then her nephew, Bruce Eldridge, saying a few words afterwards. These are very interesting and fun conversations that we're listening to here. These were done at the Ritter Library. I can't give a date to them because I can't remember how long ago it was. Of course, Tootie is gone now. Bruce is still around. But they're very fun things because Louise Giddings was really a nice, talented, and fun person. I'm sorry that a lot of people didn't get to know. Maybe the ones that did thought she was a little bit out there. And in many respects she was, but she was a real talent. So in any case, these are really fun videos to watch. I really hope you like them.
She married Mary Chandler, my father, from Norwalk, and had 4 children. That marriage was for love, and as she put it, the neighbors got the love and all she got was a bunch of kids. She always told young girls to find the richest man you can find, and when the love flies out the window, you still have the money. She married Conrad Noon, who was 20 years older, because she had 4 kids and he had 4 mentors. He was a wonderful man, soft-spoken and kind. They were married for 19 years. When he died, she married Arthur Giddings, also 20 years older. Also a very nice man. He had 3 houses and no kids to inherit them. See, she planned these things out. They loved her very much, and she made them happy, as she loved to have people to dinner and laughed a lot and entertained. She made them go on nice trips out west, and they'd never done that before and enjoyed it. Art Giddings was probably, 76 or something, and they went to drove, and she didn't know how to drive, and they drove to California and Florida one winter, and she wasn't a bit afraid to go with them, but they did well, and they had a good time. She was very good friends with Ruth and Elmer Trinner up at Axtell. When Ruth had died, I said, "Mom, why don't you go after Elmer Trinner?" Her reply was, "My God, I got you 3 houses and now you want a farm." She played for the singing at the Rotary Club for 15 years for 75 cents a week in the 1940s. My dad never knew about it. Naturally, he was jealous because he was a lot older, but he was a sweetheart. She never drove a car and walked all over town in high heels and loved to visit people. Was very nice to old people and often took candy and cupcakes to the nursing home on Easter or Valentine. She finally had to give up walking in her 80s, as she said she had to stop and hang on to some bushes, so she thought maybe she'd better stop walking. Until then, she put on her mink coat and blonde wig, which she bought at Kmart, and go uptown. She took the bus to Cleveland very often, where, quote, people talked about something besides what they had for supper and how they cooked it. She worked in the E&R church supper every summer. It was German Reformed Church then. Peeling potatoes and so on. Brought home leftovers, and that was good because this was during the Great Depression and times were tough. Her 2 sisters married very rich, and she always wanted to be rich. At Christmas time, she'd go to the library and get Harper's Bazaar and Vogue magazines to read about the wealthy people in New York and the parties that they gave. It was kind of sad because her sisters were well off, and she would go there and visit them, and they had bridge parties and so on, and she was never quite in that leave, but she wanted to be. But she ended up well. I wanted to tell you about my kids loving her so much. They loved to stay overnight. When she asked what they wanted for breakfast, they'd say ice cream and chocolate sauce and nuts. So she'd give them money to go to Hart's and buy ice cream, chocolate sauce, and nuts. No wonder they liked it there. She took my 3 girls into Cleveland to stay at the Statler Hotel overnight because she always wanted all of us to see the city. She loved Vermilion, but she loved the city. And now Bruce is gonna have a little conversation.
A room at her place. The rest is history. So anyway, when I was in college, Tom Williams Sr., and you remember Tom Williams Sr., he was postmaster. And he gave me a job over Christmas break delivering mail when I was home from college. And as it would be, Grandma was on my route. And that's when she lived in the little house across from the Wakefield Museum down there. Art had built that for her. And, well, you know, showing up at the house and just dropping mail in the mailbox would not do. I had to come in and visit. And so here I was with a mail bag, and I visit with Grandma. And, you know, visiting with Grandma, you know, one thing would lead to another, and you'd be there for a while. And I'd finally leave. And the next house on my route was up on the hill, and this woman, I guess she was living by herself, and so probably one of the best times of her day is getting the mail. And so this is unusual for her. She used to seeing the mailman go there and come up. Well, this is me filling in for Christmas vacation. I disappeared. She says, I saw you there, and then you disappeared. You're gone for a long time. I don't know what happened to me. Well, the next day, I stopped to see Grandma again, and I said, I can't come in. And she says, why? I said, well, Mrs. So-and-so up on the hill was really upset, Grandma, because I spent so much time here. Well, you tell Mrs. So-and-so that your grandmother is running a house of ill repute for young men.